quick hug of reassurance. But despite how much I wanted to make her feel better, my gaze had wandered over her shoulder toward the closed door that led to my favorite area, the new part. I ached to go there to make sure it, like icing, was thoroughly ready to receive whichever members of the group outside wanted to attend its launch. Maybe that would be all of them. "Listen to me, Carrie Kennersly," Brenda demanded, stepping back. Her arms in the light pink sweater she'd knitted herself were folded as she glared at me. Uh-oh, busted. She must have realized how sidetracked I was. Not that she should be surprised. I am. I shifted uncomfortably in my seldom-worn blue stilettos. Above them, I wore a flowing dress in the same azure shade, one of my few party outfits. "What was the last thing I told you about our products, then?" Brenda, despite being my friend, could be really pushy. But I got it. She'd let me remodel the store she loved, but icing remained her baby. "Make them sweet and make them good," I said, and she grinned. She went over a few things again, like the popularity of her red velvet cupcakes, which were in a prime location in the large refrigerated display case, crammed attractively full of the bakery's other products, too. She finally finished. "Okay, it's time. Go on into the Barkery and get the party started." I gave her another brief hug and hurried to open the wide wooden door into Barkery and Biscuits. My little golden toy poodle terrier mix, appropriately named Biscuit, flew at me, and I knelt to take her into my arms after closing the door behind me. At the moment, she was loose, but I'd have to restrict her now so she couldn't run out when the front door was open. "Hi, sweetheart," I said, as she stood on her hind legs and licked my face. I glanced down at the floor beneath my knees. I'd had it redone also. The materials were similar to those used in icing, sturdy but attractive vinyl tiles, but the main area was all blue, and the center decoration was huge and appropriate and beige, in the shape of, what else? A dog biscuit. There was an alluring aroma in here, too, though not sweet like the one in the bakery. This one suggested a hint of meat. Otherwise, this part of the shop was a mirror image of the other. I'd planned it that way. Both retail parts of the stores were fairly compact, just large enough to house the wide display cases and have room for people to line up if necessary. Plus, each held an area where customers could sit at small tables to rest and eat. But the joint kitchen? It was huge, and necessary, and modern, and wonderful. "Are we ready?" asked Judy's Eleanor, correctly interrupting my reunion with my dog. We had things to do here, all of us. "I think so," I rose, holding Biscuit. Judy was one of the shop assistants I had inherited from Brenda. The other one, Dinah Greeley, was back in the kitchen, making sure the trays containing samples of my dog treats were ready. Judy was in her late 20s, with a long face, high forehead, and shoulder-length wavy hair in a shade of medium brown that resembled cherry wood. She always seemed serious, especially when involved in a discussion with Brenda or argument with Dinah. The latter, unfortunately, happened too often. Now, though, she smiled, and it lit up her whole face. "Are you going to open the door?" "Definitely." Taking a deep, calming breath, I put Biscuit down, looping the end of the black leash I'd pulled from my pocket over my wrist to keep her close. Then I unlocked the Barkerys' glass front door, pulled it wide open, and hollered, "Welcome," to the sound of the ringing bell I'd had installed on top to notify us of customers. In moments, the crowd began pushing inside. It was happening. One of my most cherished wishes was at last coming true. Trained to be a veterinary technician, a job that I could love, did love, even though it meant working for someone else to earn a living. But owning my own business, being my own boss, that had always been my dream, especially when it also involved the other love of my life, dogs. I, Carrie Kennersly, was now a store owner. Not only that, but most of the products I was about to sell were my own creations. "Now I'll go open icing," I said to Judy, but Brenda appeared in the doorway leading to the